Right, so Anzaldúa represents the intersectional notion of difference, working with largely three discourses, if not more. One is this Latinx discourse, one is a feminist discourse, and one is this LGBTQIA discourse. So this is an intersectional approach, what we would call nowadays. Back then she was just pretty much doing sort of an advanced sort of differential sort of approach. So she will problematize history, language, and culture, arguing against universalist or assimilationist philosophies and politics, and make a case for her central conceptual metaphor, which is the idea of borderlands. She will make an argument for borderlands' individuality and sociality, moving the conversation from what she considers the negative and binary ideas of borders to a more ambiguous, diverse, dynamic idea of borderlands. Okay, so we're going to get into what this idea of borderlands is, right? But the first notion is to understand she's using it as a conceptual metaphor. We know the idea of borderlands, from our common language. So she's using it as just more a literal thing. She's using it as a conceptual metaphor, much the way that Du Bois uses double consciousness. And you just want to distinguish between the idea of borders, right, and borderlands, right? So we usually use the idea of borders, right? But borders is setting up sort of a binary type idea, binary way of looking at the world. Two sides of the border, that kind of thing. Borderlands is suggesting another type of spatiality, another type of imaginary realm. Although she sees borderlands as a place where she has been forced to live against her will, nevertheless, she does not reject it. So she's exactly like Du Bois in terms of double consciousness here. She doesn't reject it, right? It's been forced on her, so she's going to make the best out of it, so to speak. But at the same time, she sees possibilities and opportunities in it. What sets her apart from W.E.B. Du Bois and double consciousness is that she embraces borderlands as a place and also believes that it can and should be shared by all, that borderlands and its transhumanistic dimensions can be useful for all people.